how's it going? I'm IlaGolden and welcome to my blog. Okay, alright, so this one I'm going to be talking a little bit about friends, friendships, and specifically having creative friends. It's kind of a spontaneous choice of topic after I realised I hadn't decided on a topic for this week at the end of last week's one. So yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so I kind of want to talk mostly about three of my friends who are all creative individuals in different ways. And um, so the first one I'll sort of briefly touch on is my good and dear friend Jade. You guys are probably used to hearing that name by now because she comes up a lot. So that's why me talking about her is probably going to be the briefest of them all. But who knows, I might find that I have more to say than I think I do. So she's great. Like me, she's a writer. I met her whilst I was in university, and we formed a very fast and firm friendship. That we talk a lot. We live in two different parts of the country, but we talk a lot. We Skype pretty much daily, and if she's not online, then it's texting and the occasional phone calls and whatever else. So we've both kind of got this little bit of a pact going on that if one of us makes it, that one will use that to help propel the other one forward as well. Because we both very much believe in the other's abilities and their work. And if that's not obvious from the fact that I have recently done a little promo trailer for the project she's trying to raise funds for. I've also talked about the project she's trying to raise funds for in a recent one of my vlogs as well. I'm constantly tweeting about it for her at the moment, and little things like that. I think it's I very strongly believe in what she does and what she's doing. So I do my best to support her and encourage her and do what I can, and vice versa. She does what she can for me. So it's a very good professional side of our relationship. And then on the other hand, I kind of work as her unofficial editor. She quite often reads a lot of my projects when I'm sort of starting out. Once I reach a sort of certain point, not so much. So I'm like, I'm too in the zone. I just want to focus on what I'm doing. But certainly when I sort of start any project, she's one of the first people who sort of reads bits and pieces of it and basically lets me know how it sounds at that point, and that can then help me shape where certain things will go from there and stuff like that, and vice versa. As I don't just edit her work, I also give her opinions on what she's written for that particular scene or whatever else, and it's good, it works. It works for us. So the next one I want to talk about is Kate. I don't know if her professional name is Kisumi. I know she does have an account under that name, and she does do a lot of her boosting of her work via and under that name, but I don't know if that is her professional name as such. She is an artist. She mostly works in polymer clay and resin at the moment, although she can draw. She doesn't think she's very good at that, but I like her artwork. I think she's a lot better at it than she thinks she is. So again, I'll do like little bits and pieces to sort of support her. I'll like retweet her tweets. I'll like the pictures that she puts up. But I've also commissioned her to do things as well, and I've two pieces in particular. The most recent being some baubles for my Christmas tree, which were amazing, by the way. They're a little delayed in getting to me, but that was no fault of hers. It was timing issues and various other things like that kind of happened. But yeah, no, I believe in her art, in her artwork. I think she's very creative and very talented at what she does, and you know, anything that I can do to make her more visible and better known, and, you know, whatever else, even if it's just liking and sharing and commenting on what she produces and what she puts up, it does help. It helps other people notice it, which, or who might not notice it otherwise. And, you know, sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes getting something noticed by the right person at the right time, it can make a huge amount of difference. So even if it only feels like I'm doing like a very small gesture and a very small thing for her, it could be that one small thing is what she needs to get her work in front of somebody who can go, oh, you know what, that's fantastic. I want to buy X, Y, and Z amount of that, or I want to commission her to do this, that, or the other for me. And, you know, that's, I think, you know, important. I definitely think that's sort of important, especially when you're sort of starting out, and, you know, or even sort of when you're sort of very early on. It, you know, you need something to help you get a good foothold, and if even if it's just a friend sort of recommending you to the right person, you know, that can make a huge amount of difference. So, you know, if you've got a creative friend out there, do that for them, like and share and comment on anything that they put up, because it helps. It really does help, you know. Um, so the last friend I want to talk a little bit about is Toria. That is her stage name, at any rate. It's not the name I usually go by calling her. Um, it's the same with Jade. Jade is her pen name. So occasionally when I'm recording this, I will use her actual name, and I have to edit that out so that you guys know who I'm talking about. So it's a bit weird kind of calling my friends by their professional names, because that's not usually how I address them. But likewise, you know, it's the same with me. Isla is my pen name, so they wouldn't refer to me by that name. So it's that same kind of weirdness. Anyway, so Toria is the one I've known for the longest. We first met in junior school, beginning of junior school. Um, she was always, well, she was always a creative person. She did a lot of writing around the same time that I was writing during junior school and secondary school. But I'd always thought of her kind of more as being the academic. And then in our final year of A levels, we both got choral parts in the school's production of Jesus Christ Superstar. And we both had solo lines as well. That was kind of a big deal because I'd never been able to get that before. um, so that was kind of the first time I kind of realised she had a real interest in and passion for acting. She'd not really been in many productions before that I'd been involved with, or we'd not really been involved with anything at the same time that I can really think of before that point. So yeah, that was very much the first time I kind of became aware that she sort of had the acting bug. But she went through university, and it was all very academic stuff that she kind of did. And then she got to the end of that, and I'm not totally sure what did it for her. But at some point, she realised that acting was what she wanted to do and the direction that she wanted to take her life in. And she started off with some amateur productions, and she did some courses and stuff like that to sort of help her develop her stage presence and whatever else. And I mean, I've seen her perform in at least one thing that I can think of. I'd like to have seen her in a lot more things because she was good. But unfortunately, at the time when she's been doing various different things, certainly like in previous years, my work schedule has been a bit all over the place. Hopefully now that that's sort of settled down, for health reasons I'm restricted in the number of hours that I can work, and I have something worked out with work. It's kind of working at the moment. Hopefully we'll continue to work because I don't want to reduce my hours any more than they already are. But hopefully, this will allow me to sort of see her in anything that she's got upcoming. And I know in terms of her non, in terms of what she's doing to get herself out there, I know she's trying to write and produce her own piece, her own production at the moment. I'm not sure how far she's gotten with that at the point in time that this goes up, so I'm not going to say too much about it, although we have discussed it, and I think it's an amazing idea if she can get it off the ground. Um, so yeah, she's incredibly, talented and enthusiastic about what she's doing, and she's done a number of sort of more professional things at this point, and she's done some extra work at this point, and she's making a lot of headway, but like the other two that I've talked about, and like myself, she's still at the very beginning, and it's not easy. This is not an easy point in any of our careers to actually be, because we're still trying to establish ourselves. We're still trying to get our names out there. We're still trying to get people to kind of go, you know what, that person does amazing work. Let's X, Y, and Z, and open these doors, and help them get to the point where they actually need to be or want to be, depending on your viewpoint. So it's sort of important for all of us that we support each other, and encourage each other, because it's not an easy point to be at, because there's no formula. There's no formula for success. There's no, if you do this, then X, Y, and Z will happen. It's just not like that. That's not how any of the industries that we are looking to get into work. It's not, it's not how life works in general, really. It's not an easy point for us to be at, but it's important that I have them and they have me, because Jade in particular is the friend that I made at university, whereas the other two I made at school, so they know each other, whereas Jade kind of knows them, but they've never really met, as it were. So it's very important, and I think if you're somebody who is creative and you have a lot of creative people around you, and I'm fortunate that I am one of those people. I'm not just these particular friends, but there are creative members of my family. There are creative people that I work with as well. So I have lots of people in my life who get it, who know the struggle, who know that it's not easy to go from being a complete unknown to being moderately successful. It's a long and it's a difficult path, and there's no formula and there's no straight way of getting there. And as I said, I'm very fortunate that I do have a lot of people in my life who get that. So there's a lot of support, there's a lot of advice. There is no formula, there is no set way, there is no right or wrong answer, especially at the moment, especially when the internet has given people so many different channels and avenues of making things work. It's about finding the way that works for you, and that's not easy. It's not easy. So having people who've tried various things kind of go to you, what, I've tried that and it doesn't work at all. You might have some luck with it, because I've heard some people do, but it doesn't work for me. It helps, because that's real advice. That's somebody kind of going, well, in my experience, because I've tried this, and or alternatively, in my experience, I've tried this, it actually worked really well. Why don't you give it a go and see if it works for you? No guarantee that it will work, but it might. And having that and having those people there, and even if they're not necessarily following the same creative path as you, not the same creative outlet as you, having other people there who get it is so important. And for me, I've got great friends, and I've got great family, and I've got great co-workers as well, because I surround myself with creative people, because I'm awesome. But I also get that not everybody has that, and I know certainly for Jade, I'm one of the few voices around her that gets it, and that can go, it's not that simple, it's not that straightforward, and can be the voice of encouragement and support and understanding about how she's choosing to do things. and trying to give her advice that I hope will work, because I do have a closer viewpoint than some of the advice that she's getting, which isn't necessarily the most useful, not necessarily incorrect, but not necessarily the most useful in terms of the career that she's trying to shape for herself. What I support with my friends and the people in my life who are creative and are trying to do things with their creative outlets and trying to create a career for themselves is I encourage the things that they do that I know they've done because that's what they love doing. That's how they love to create. That's how they love to express their passion. Because from my point of view, that's a million times better than anything they've tried to produce under the guidance of somebody else, under the direction of somebody else, because it has a different feel to it. It just does. And it's hard to explain how, but it just does. And I think if you've ever seen somebody do something that they're passionate about and then compare it to something that they've been told to do, you can see the difference. You can. Anyway, hopefully that's been sort of interesting for you guys. What I will do is I will link you to the Twitters and Facebook pages and store pages and whatever else for my friends down below. They are great, amazing, creative people. And if this helps them get a little bit better known, fantastic. That's me being a good friend. And if it doesn't, then there's no harm. There's no harm in sort of doing it. I will double check with them that that's okay before I do, but I imagine there'll be no problem as long as it's their professional stuff, right? Anyway, according to my nice vlog calendar, my next vlog is going to be about food. Not entirely sure why I've chosen that topic for next time, so between now and the time I film the next one, I will have to make a decision as to why the next one is to do with food and whether or not I can connect that back to writing. I might not be able to. It might be a bit more of a loosely themed one because, let's face it, I can't be talking strictly writerly stuff all the time. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you guys have sort of found this interesting. I hope you guys are interested in maybe finding out a little bit more about my friends and what they do and why I think they're amazing people, because I do think they're amazing people. And I will see you next time. See ya. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my others, and if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. See ya!